Hello and welcome to Wine List Legends. The aim here is nice and simple. We're going to do a quick sort of 10-15 minute chat, and I want to champion the best wine lists in the UK and beyond that aren't necessarily written by an in-house sommelier. So a very special hello and thank you to Jack Holtom. How's it going, brother?
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Awesome, mate. Thank you very much for being here. Listen, for anyone that's not familiar with yourself or with Curado, please introduce yourself, what you do with the business, and tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, hello. My name's Jack Holtom, and I work for Curado Bar and Vermut Bar, which is kind of part of the Ultra Comida group. So we are a specialist importer of Spanish wines and other Spanish products as well. But today we'll obviously mainly talk about wines. We import straight to ourselves, and then we sell it straight off the shelves, I guess is the best way to put it. We have around 100 wines on our list in Curado Bar, which is a Spanish tapas restaurant. And it is kind of like a casual dining setting, meaning that, we don't have a sommelier, and the wine lists are all curated by ourselves. And the Vermut Bar next door, which is a much smaller venue, which is a specialist in vermouth and sherry, but again, only Spanish products there. So we've got a couple of challenges and stuff that we'll probably get into, but yeah, that's me, and I'm just working at those two places.
Fantastic. I've never been, and I really want to go. And actually, hopefully I'll be in Cardiff in the not too distant future, actually. So I really want to hit you up. From looking at your wine list, it got me really excited, and I am keen to understand a little bit more about your vermouth offering and your sherry offering, because they both seem really strong. You also mentioned that you do your own importing, which is an interesting topic as well.
Yeah.
So can you just tell me a little bit about how you went about curating your vermouth and your sherry list before we get onto the table wines, if you like, and how's that gone down with the locals?
Yeah, so I think surprisingly it went down very well. But the way we went about curating it is essentially the owners of the business, Paul and Shimon, they're super involved with the producers themselves in Spain. So pre-pandemic, they'd be out there, at least a couple of times a year, and also, getting samples and things straight from the producers. It means we can get to build a really good relationship with small producers and bigger producers in Spain as well. So first things first, taste it all, try as much as you can.
Love
then
that.
Then work out what kind of structure and strategy you want to go for on the list. With vermouth, you kind of, obviously the grape varietals and things like that don't matter as much with vermouth. You're more talking about the styles and different botanicals that are in there. The same with sherry. It's less to do with the grape varietal, as it's basically only one or two varieties that we're using. Sure. But yes, you're going to categorize them into, Fino, Amontillado, Oloroso, Manzanilla, and everything in between. So it's all about finding those structures and finding the right kind of products. You want one or two products that are nice entry level, and then you want some easy steps up and then some big steps up as well. And it's nice to have that.
I mean, I guess I'm a wine guy. I love sherry, but I have always often struggled getting just friends into sherry. People think it's too salty, it's too dry, it tastes like old shoes or leather or my grandma's car or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. Do you have much resistance with that, or has everyone in general been?
So it's an odd one, because yes, sherry and vermouth as well is seen as something that's, it's kept in grandma's cupboard, comes out at Christmas time, might have a glass of it and probably wince and put it back in the cupboard again till next year. But I think that's quite an outdated notion that we just got to push through. The sherries that we've probably, before now tried in the UK are probably only a very specific style, and same with vermouth. You probably only ever had, if you're not drinkers and sort of bar people, you've probably only ever had Martini Rosso and Blanco and just thought nothing of it, and it was warm, it'd come out the cupboard and you just put it in a shot glass, you didn't know what to do with it. All right, so I think it's all a notion of it's education. I think with anything, with wine, spirits, the lot, I think it's all about education first, in that you help people understand something and then they're going to learn and they're going to enjoy it. With sherry, I'll probably get onto it a little bit later as one of my favorite bottles, actually, but
nice.
There's a perfect category of sherry. It's called a medium sherry, and it quite literally is the middle ground between sweet, between dry, between that sort of salinity and yeasty breadiness, and then that kind of heavy leather, almonds, that kind of wood polish notes. So medium sherry is the one. There's plenty of brands that do medium sherry, but I'll show you one a little bit later on.
So is that, do you think medium sherry is kind of like the gateway
drug?
The gateway
absolutely
drug.
That's what I call it, the gateway drug. Yeah, without being a bit crude about it, but it is the gateway drug.
And then
once people have had a glass of that, once people have had a glass of that, it's kind of like it's a great leveler. It's a very good litmus test of people's kind of palate. You put that out there and you say, what do you think of that? Do you want something sweeter? Because I have got sweeter. Do you want something drier? Because I've got loads drier as well. And it's kind of a perfect kind of way to.
I think sugar's always a good way to bring people into a category like that. Do you know what I mean? Wine's a different conversation, but with sherry, where there's so much complexity and there's so many drier styles, sugar and that sort of hedonistic touch of sweetness is the gateway, as you say, mate. Listen, that sounds awesome. Big fan of Vermouth, big fan of the sherry offering, so I cannot wait to come and check that out. Just obviously, you know, with the sort of heritage and the theme behind your venue, you know, how important and how integral is your wine category to the business?
So for us, I mean, the short answer to that would be it is the backbone of absolutely everything we do, and it's the perfect like example of how we get products to market straight from the producers as well. And it's the most successful example, I guess, because it's, you know, wine is such a far-ranging and broad thing that people enjoy for all different types of reasons, all different times of day and everything. So absolutely integral. But in the long form, you could say that our wines are the pillars of everything. So we always say, you know, you need good progression and everything in your wine list, and you need a good entry level, because then that can get people loyal to you. People, you know, the guests, once they're loyal and interested in you and they're confident in you, and your staff mainly, in the people that are selling them the wine, and once you've gained that trust of these guests, I think you're on a roll there. And I think that's what it's about. It's about gaining people's trust. Look, I might not be a sommelier, and I'm definitely not. You know, there's a hell of a lot of work I've got to do to become a sommelier, but I know, you know, what works for me. I know what can work for other people as well, and I'm talking to guests. And out just through experience as well of recommending and upselling guests from, you know, this dry rosé to a dry rosé, it's maybe £1 or £2 more a glass.
For sure.
And I know that jump like changed their life, you know. And I say change their life, but sometimes, you know, the comments you get from people, it blows their minds. You know? Absolutely.
Listen, by the way, I'm a shit sommelier, so there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I wasn't a sommelier for long. Maybe I just got terrible table manners. I'm not sure. But listen, no, I like the approach of what you're saying here about if someone just spends an extra £2, they're going to get so much more value. And like you say, it's a bit life-changing, because they're going to go home and they've not only discovered potentially a new style of wine or a new product that they like, and they're going to come back and invest in the future, but, you know, they're going to tell people about that experience as well. And I think that's what's so important about having and, you know, offering that sort of choice, you know, bit in a cruder way, you know, almost like this upselling culture. But you're not just upselling to get more cash in the business, you're upselling to spread people's wings, which is so important. Exactly. Okay, wicked. Tell me a little bit about the still wines and how you've constructed that list, because it looks interesting. It seems to be done sort of region by region. You've got a cool map. So can you give me a little bit of a breakdown behind the theory of that and how that's been received?
Yeah, 100%. So obviously everything we do is completely Spanish. It's completely Spanish offering, imports straight to us. So that meant that we could work directly with the producers from different regions. So yes, we've decided, you know what, instead of categorizing maybe a wine list into, I don't know, some people use maybe grape varietals, some people use style, some people might just, especially with smaller bars and things that haven't got a massive wine offering, it's just red, white, rosé, bubbles, right? So, but we were like, okay, let's break it down into each region and then do the red, white, rosé, bubbles for those regions, right? So I say bubbles, I mean sparkling, but, you know, forgive the colloquialism there. So I think what we've done there is champion each region in and of itself and put them in each region in its package. And
Nice.
you know, Rioja is a fantastic region in Spain, but there's so many others. You know, we've got, I mean, plenty of regions on the back of our labels here. But they go from everything from northwest Spain, northeast Spain, all the way down to the corners and Andalusia and things like that.
Yeah, so, and I saw you've got like a homage to like the Alicante, Valencia region as well, which I think
indeed,
some really good
and
stuff.
we've been working really closely with some producers over the last year from Alicante, Valencia as well. So yeah, it's exciting. It's a nice list as well because of that map. People go, I've been there, or I've been to Valencia. I'm going to try a wine from Valencia, or my cousin lives in, I don't know, the Basque Country. I'm going to try a País Vasco wine. You know,
yeah, absolutely, mate. Awesome. No, there's you're creating
experience,
connections.
Yeah, exactly. Connections and relationships between the places, the wines, and the people.
I love that. So you mentioned you got 100 plus wines on the list. That's a lot for anyone, I think.
It is, yeah.
Whilst I can appreciate it's really good fun tasting through everything and constructing the list. What's the approach to training with the team, and how does that work, and what's the style of service like, and how do you expect your team to get behind the wines?
Okay, so with us, we're very lucky because we do get everything for ourselves. We import straight to ourselves, meaning our relationship with the producers is pretty much second to none, and we're really proud of that. So the amount of times we've had a Zoom meeting over lockdown with the producers themselves in the room with the owners of the whole company, the whole Comida group, plus all of the staff jumping on there. We've given out little taster bottles of 3 or 4 wines from a single vineyard, single producer, and we just taste on through those. So that's one of the ways, is that we connect directly with producers. And I've seen in actually one of your articles, you say if you can push for that, that's a really nice thing to do. And yeah, we're very lucky to have that direct relationship. We don't have to go through a distributor or anything like that. So that's one of the ways. The second way is kind of the in-house sort of passion for it. You know, we do love what we do. We love the wines that we've got, and I think they're great value for what they are. I think Spanish wines are kind of underrated in a way. They're often overlooked as well. So I think you get really good wines for really good prices. We often invite the producers over. Actually, well, before pandemic, we invited them over, and they were in-house tasting with the customers. But first, they would do a tasting with the staff, and then an hour later, we'd sort of go live with the guests. So that's another way. And yeah, I think in terms of the approach to selling it at the table, I think that's something we could probably work on, actually, because it's all about how much you put. I think with wine, it's all about how much you put in and how much passion you've got to really, like, you know, find everything out about that wine and how to sell it. But it's, you know, people do buy off people, so it's all about the guests. It's about reading the room, reading the guests, what they're after. You know, if they are just after you know, they just want a big red, cool, you've almost got them there. You can just be like, okay, let's just take you up bottle by bottle throughout the evening, and they love it. If someone's just sloped in for a quick glass of wine and a bacalao, you know, some salt cod, they might just want a nice acidic white wine. But instead of going for that house white acidic white wine, you could just tip the balance a little bit more and go give someone else by the glass. So
yeah, and I think that you hit the nail on the head when you said people buy from people, and yeah, getting that team confident and getting them in a place where they can just talk about the wines. They don't have to have loads of knowledge, do they? It's just putting them in a place where they're nice and confident. And I think having those relationships with your suppliers is crucial. And you know, it seems like it gives you a lot of flexibility. Okay, I think we all agree that Curado Vermut has a completely legendary wine list. I'm going to visit you next time I'm in Cardiff, mate. I should be down at some point. So I just want to say thank you very much, you know, for your time. If you guys, I'm guessing everything's picking back up for you.
Yes,
reopenings and so on and so forth, and you're probably really busy. And
absolutely are,
I'm thank you for squeezing me in. So no listen, 100 plus wines, very strong sherry, very strong vermouth offering. And I think, you know, it's wonderful to see a bar like yourselves really championing and really getting down into the nitty gritty of one specific country. I can't wait to visit you. Jack, thank you for your time, mate. You're an absolute wine list legend, my man.
Thank you very much, Harry. You take care, buddy.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks.
Cheers, thank you.